Well, boys, today is tomorrow, and will we ever get any drama that's just anything else? I want another scam, alright? We need another scammer to come out here because I'm about to get tired of talking about this subject. So, the Call of Duty Zombies community is in shambles, alright, boys? It came out the other day that MrTLexify was dating someone under the age of 18. But somehow that's not even the end of the story. I wish it could have ended right there. Just like, hey boys, this is just a short for today. Don't worry. You ain't even gotta worry about reading it. Don't worry, that's it. That's all you need to know. But nope. It gets deeper than that because even the victim of this is also a predator in her own rights. Or is she? We'll get into that. So all of this really started whenever the creator PureSofty came out and said, "Hi, at MrTLexify. Please don't lie on my name before I post all the evidence I have of us hanging out when I was 16 years old. And you were 19. This is so wrong of you trying to flip this on me." So, PureSofty essentially showed some screenshots and a video of MrTLexifier talking to her and groping her. But at the time they were dating, so obviously she didn't care at that time. And in my opinion, alright, let's get this already out of here. 16, 19, I'm gonna be honest here. I would say that's that's too much in my opinion. That's too much, but also they could have been in high school together, right? He could have literally just graduated and she would have been like what, a sophomore or some shit. I don't know. I really don't care. I'm like, to me, that's just like a non-statement, like a 3-year age gap, bro. Between 16 and 19, you're not really changing all that much. I can understand why anyone would be like, that's gross. I can understand that, but also in my opinion, I'm like 16 to 19, you're essentially about them near the same person. Like their parents probably had a bigger age gap than them. Like let's all be realistic here. A 3-year age gap, no one's taking advantage of anyone. Like let's already get that off the table. No one's getting taken advantage of. Legally, could it be illegal depending on what state MrTLexify and she was in? Yeah, it could be. But like if we're talking about like straight up pure like morals, who cares? 3 years? Like bro, like boys, 3 years. You're not gonna date someone 3 years younger than you. Like if you're dating someone that's 21 and you're like 24, are we all supposed to be like you're disgusting for that? Let's all be honest here. Who cares? But obviously it goes deeper than that. All right. So let's continue with these allegations. So underneath that, she replied to herself saying, "By the way, I am 16 years old and Lex is 19 years old, gripping my boobs at a Z House party." I don't know what a Z House party is. "I was drunk and high out of my mind. You are fucking evil for trying to flip this on me. Why not tell everyone about how you put me in your will? Why not tell everyone about how you choked me and told me you were going to kill me because I found out you were messaging barely legal girls at 26. Right here, I don't know what she means by barely legal girls because for me, barely legal means you probably turned 18, 19, 20. That's what I would assume a barely legal person is because if she's trying to say you are fucking minors, then just say you were messaging minors. Don't be like you were messaging barely legal girls. Like, what is barely legal? Are you talking about like if he went to a different state, this will be a totally legal relationship? Like, I don't know what she means. Like, if she's saying they're all above 18, I don't care. Again, I don't care. At that point, you make your own decisions in life. I hate whenever people try to turn, like, literal adults into children. People would be like, oh my god, I can't believe this famous actor only dates people that are around 20 to 25. It's like, oh, okay. They're adults. Let them make their own decisions. If the woman knows that she's going to be dumped at 25, that's her problem, not ours. I shouldn't have to waste brain power on adults making decisions that are dumb. I'm just saying here. And then she goes on like a nice little tweet rant of her essentially trying her best to make herself like the biggest victim known to man, alright? She said, "I feel so fucking violated that I even have to make this statement. I have kept my mouth quiet for 8 years until it was perfectly convenient for you to come out and make these statements." Because she could have said this back in 2023, 2022. There were a lot of statements back then from people coming out alleging that someone groomed them whenever they were younger, but for some reason she waited until the biggest year of the groomers, alright? Dr. Disrespect, Chris Tyson, like some of the biggest people out there. Instead of her coming out back in like what 2020 whenever EDP got called out, she's like, nah, Nah, who cares then? But honestly, now's the perfect time whenever it's like the hot topic. Every celebrity has talked to a minor at some point. And PureSofty's like, this is my time to shine to be the perfect victim. And obviously, boys, I take, allegations seriously. But also, we're going to get into why I'm like kind of being mean here, all right? We're going to get into this in a second. So this whole Twitter back and forth is continuing. So MrTLexify had to respond. So he put out this tweet saying, response. I would like to address the situation of 3 people specifically in the zombies community targeting and harassing me, bringing Renzaru, SBP, and DigDuck7. These people have been targeting me in every manner, trying to erase my image, and I would like the community to know that they have only ever tried to harass me and take me off the platform. My past with Ren is he has stolen multiple of my thumbnail assets and has now decided to thwart me at every turn by blocking me and constantly sending people to harass me over the last couple of months with images of me as a rat, making fun of me for dyeing my hair rainbow, and especially spreading lies. I have blocked these YouTubers because they only want to destroy my image and do not want to seek solutions in any means. Oh yeah, another part of this whole drama that MrTLexify is in is he also is accused of stealing memes and asks, I don't care, it's the internet, alright? If you are like mad that someone stole a joke on the internet, I'm sorry, you need to grow up. Trust me, people steal jokes on the internet all the time. If you listen to your favorite YouTubers and you type in any of their jokes, you will literally find it from an actual comedian or like a TikTok somewhere, alright? This part of the drama didn't even need to be addressed. He could have just been like, oh yeah, I guess I stole some memes and jokes. Take me to jail. But now we get on to the part where MrTLexify talks about PureSofty, his ex-girlfriend. My ex and I had met when we were both minors as a 15-year-old and a 17-year-old. She wanted to date me, but I had constantly told her that we were too young and we had decided to remain friends. We then later decided to date and ended the relationship because I wanted to get out of the relationship as we weren't a good fit. We had gotten back together multiple times as adults until I had realized I had been cheated on with her by a minor behind my back. I have never gone public about this information until now because this has brought me so much pain in my life trying to understand the whole situation, and I had paid for so much of her life and wanted nothing but the best for her. And she led me on for years until I realized that she cheated on me for a 17-year-old when she was 21-year-old. I have a active cease and desist against my ex for blackmailing, extortion, and harassment against me. My ex has tried to misconstrue stories to paint me as a villain, such as the time I had a fan who was a minor message me when I had opened up my DMs. I have never gone out of my way to ever message anyone who is a minor, nor do I entertain these conversations once I figure out the person I'm talking to is a minor. I have only ever tried to date someone who is my age, which I am currently doing, and because of situations like these, I will not be publicizing my private life anymore, as this is what it has costed me. I would like everyone to know the amount of pain and suffering I have gone through with this whole situation and have wanted nothing but the best for everyone involved, but this harassment has reached its limit for me. And it has a massive relief that I get to finally disclose this information, as my ex has been trying to destroy my career with my online YouTuber friends, my family, and my entire life. So, obviously, with this bomb dropping, that not only did she call out her ex for quote unquote being a predator. 3-year age gap. You're not a predator. I'm just saying it right here. You're not a predator. 3 age gap. There's no way you could be a predator. You're literally the same people at that point. They both met underage. But all right, she called out her ex for being a predator, one of the worst out there. All right, boys. And then he's like, no, she cheated on me whenever she was 21 with an actual minor. She's the actual predator. Which, if true, she probably should have kept her mouth shut, alright? I can see why she wouldn't want to bring out these allegations if she has this in her own closet. And then on top of that, MrTLexify decided to just in case you didn't believe him, let me post a little bit of proof. Well, this is a journal entry. So, it's not like we have the actual, time, date, stamp, location. This is like metadata from a photo, all right? This is a journal entry that he's claiming that's from her. And I'm going to be honest here. I don't know what guy writes like this, all right? This could be MrTLexify. He could have, somehow got some of the most beautiful handwriting out there. I'm just going to say this is some nice handwriting right here. But usually you see women have this kind of great handwriting. But again, this could be MrTLexify. Just out here with the most prettiest handwriting. I'm not even gonna lie. This is beautiful right here. So the tweet says, visual confirmation that my ex has R-worded a 17-year-old minor when she was 21-year-old and cheated on me as an adult. Signature and date. So don't worry, boys. I read through everything on my own. I'm gonna be honest here, I kind of lied about how beautiful this handwriting is. This is some of the worst handwriting known to man, but I'm gonna be honest here, I can still see it coming from a girl. I'm not even gonna lie, because the whole, hello universe, thank you for manifesting this little boy in my life. She essentially goes on to talk about how on her birthday in 2021 that she wants to be with Lawrence and she wants to, have sex with Lawrence, the 17-year-old. And then she did have sex with Lawrence and she loved it. It was amazing. And then they kept doing it. And then Lawrence's brother caught them at some point. And then I guess Lawrence's brother was like, I don't care. So I guess he didn't tell anyone. And then it went on with them, continuing the relationship. At some point, she said that Lawrence R-worded her, which I'm just sitting here like, I don't think you can be complaining right now. Seeing the fact that you're doing the exact same thing back to him, but she said he R-worded me at one point, but after that we started to make love. I was like, oh my goodness. Boys, if you want to read it, it's up there. But I'm just saying, you're trying to get through. A, MrTLexify or whoever took this picture sucks at lighting. B, stop writing in these colorful pens, ma'am. If you're gonna write down your evidence, can we get it in black, just straight up black ink, so it doesn't reflect light? That's another reason why I'm sitting here yeah, this probably is real, because I don't know who's out here trying to provide fake evidence that you can barely read. So, PureSofty went onto her Twitter to clarify the whole situation. Alright, boys, alright, this is a whole misunderstanding. She said, I am not a pedo. I also have never R-worded anyone. Lex is lying on my name to try to deflect any hate coming towards him. I had not R-worded a 17-year-old. And the fact that I have to say this is disgusting. Lex knows he is a pedo, which is why he's trying so hard to grasp at straws. Lex R-worded me when I was 16 years old and he was 19 years old. I told Lex multiple times that I didn't want to have sex, but he would persist and beg me. I never wanted to lose my virginity to Lex. I have the proof. I have the evidence. I just need time to make my timeline. So she never said that she didn't have sex with the 17-year-old. She said she never R-worded him. But also, she never showed proof that Lex R-worded her. She just showed that, or at least said, that he begged, please, a crumb of pussy, man, please. So, I mean, in her mind, technically, Lex never R-worded her either, because technically she didn't force him, right? She didn't force the 17-year-old to have sex with her. At one point in her journal entry, she said that the 17-year-old R-worded her. I don't know, did the 17-year-old just ask politely one too many times, like, please, please, pretty please? Like, I don't understand what her definition of R-wording is, because she's saying that he just kept asking. You could have just kept saying no. I mean, like, that was also an option. So PureSofty also, alright, after the evidence of the journal entries came out, she also wanted to clarify up the journal entries too. So PureSofty says, to clarify, I was 20 years old and my friend was 18. No, I did not R-word him. Lex is trying to deflect from the actual evidence of him R-wording me and grooming me. Like I said, I will come back with a formal statement that contains all my evidence. The reason I didn't come out first was because Lex has been threatening me through my mother via text messages. He even texted her last month saying he was going to take legal action if I came forward. So, what I'm hearing here is she thinks the 3-year age gap didn't mean anything, right? To her, the 3-year age gap meant nothing. Her, talking to someone that was younger than her, trying to get them to, have sex with her, that's not grooming at all. But as soon as she has a 3-year age gap with someone else, it was the worst thing ever. She couldn't believe it. She was groomed, but her having a 3-year age gap was just normal, alright? It was, business as usual. Also, in her first statement, I forgot to go over this, she said that MrTLexify took advantage of her whenever she was drunk and high, but in her own her own book, alright? The book that she was writing in her own journal, her and this person that she's now claiming is 18 were cross-faded and they were, doing things together. So, whenever MrTLexify gets you drunk and high, that's R-word. He took advantage of you. But whenever you get someone else drunk and high, that's whenever it's a normal relationship. Like, you guys see what I mean here by this person is just very untrustworthy, because she never took away any, the mysticism of, is this actually her journal? She never even said that this wasn't her journal. From what it looks like, I'm like, she never claimed it wasn't her journal. She's literally just sitting here saying, no, the person actually was 18. It's like, ma'am, you provided drugs and alcohol to someone under the age of 21. You R-worded them, alright? You R-worded them. You had sex with someone that was drunk and high under the age of 21. That is R-word, alright? Let's not walk around this. You groomed someone with predatory behavior, which is providing them with drugs and alcohol. So then she posted some videos of her and MrTLexify together, and obviously they were dating at the time, and then also him, I guess, getting her a bong and other paraphernalia, because now it's bad that she got that, but whenever she was doing it to an 18-year-old, it was perfectly fine. So then Lex dropped his Google Doc, essentially showing that Reagan abused the absolute shit out of this man. I mean, very much. She beat him up, and he's claiming, especially with a broken wooden board from a piece of an Airbnb property. She destroyed his apartment door. She was telling him to game end himself, and then after telling him to game end himself, she demanded that he sends her $100. And then on top of that, Lex showed that he was essentially sending her tens of thousands of dollars. And he also showed screenshots of her essentially saying that she's going to ruin his life, that she's going to quote unquote expose him if he doesn't pay her money. She literally, in these text messages, are harassing him. Lex is not even saying anything back. This woman's spam texting him, saying that she's going to ruin his life. She was talking about the super mega drama, the 3-hour video, and how she wants to make a 3-hour video on Lex, and how she wants to ruin his life. It's genuinely crazy. If someone was this horrible to you, and you claimed R-worded you and did all this other stuff to you, you probably wouldn't want to speak to them at all, let alone spam text them. And then on top of that, spam text them your whole plan on how you're going to ruin their career. That makes no sense. If you wanted to ruin their career and you feel like it was justified, you would just do it. You wouldn't be like, hey, speak to me. Hey, I'm gonna ruin your career. Hey, I saw a drama that has nothing to do with us, but it reminded me of you. So I'm here to spam text you again. Hey, I'm gonna ruin your life like how those people had their life ruined. I also read PureSofty's Google Doc, and she basically went over all the stuff that he bought her and him asking for sex and, their kinks and their sexting. Things that always is weird no matter who is sexting who or whatever. But yeah, she was going over that and how he groomed her. Again, they have a 3-year age gap, boys. Again, 3-year age gap. I don't know who's getting groomed with a 3-year age gap. If you are, I'm sorry. Essentially, the rich YouTuber wanted a girlfriend. He started paying for things for said girlfriend, and now she's using those things as him grooming her, which technically by law, I guess, yeah, but also like you guys are 3 years apart. Also, she had a 3-year age gap between her and what she claims is a 18-year-old, even though there are literal texts. I'm just gonna have them scrolling throughout the rest of this video. There are literal texts of her saying that the person was 17, but she claimed that they're 18. All right. Again, she was 21. This person was 18, and she was still getting them drunk and high. So, I'm just saying. The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. If you were able to see back then, or I guess now, that that was a horrible thing that happened to you, why would you do it to someone else? I understand that hurt people, but there's a difference between like being ignorant, right? MrTLexify, I can see like him just being ignorant. He's like, well, I do like her, and it's only a 3-year age gap, and I guess I could buy stuff for her because I mean, like, I can take her here, we can go there, to prove my love to her. She's just literally in her journal saying, I want to this guy. I want to this person. I really want to this person. Like, she's literally doing the exact same thing she's claiming was horrible as an adult. Like, you somehow you're coming out saying that you was R-worded and he wouldn't stop annoying you over sex, but then you do this to someone else with the same age gap. You're claiming that they were 18, alright? Still, you did some illegal stuff with that 18-year-old. You still groomed him with drugs and alcohol, alright? You still gave him paraphernalia. So that's my whole read on this, alright, boys? That's my whole read on this. I read through everything I could. The whole thing is, MrTLexify at most was like a dumbass for trying to get into a relationship with someone that obviously probably didn't want to be in a relationship with him, that was also a fan. So it was kind of just a weird place where she didn't want to say no to, like, hey, don't want to be your girlfriend. No, don't want to be your girlfriend. I'm just a fan. But she also wanted the stuff that he was providing. So he probably thought, maybe I could provide more stuff and she might like me more. I don't know. But and then she legit went out of her way to go what she claims is an 18-year-old, but in text she said the person was 17. She provided drugs, alcohol. She went out of her way to go and pick this person up from school, like she claimed in her document against MrTLexify. So she's literally doing the exact same things that she says was horrible to her, but she's doing it to a guy instead. So I don't understand where she's trying to like come out of this as a morally righteous person. I understand at the end of the day, hurt people are hurt people. But if you do think that this was horrible, why would you do it to someone else, right? That's what I gotta understand. Like, it's one thing to be ignorant to your past traumas. It's another thing to just know, like, hey, I didn't like any of this, but I'm gonna go do it to someone else. Like, there's a key difference there, all right? There's a key difference there. Both are illegal or morally not, good. But also, one is just like, you're ignorant, all right? There's nothing wrong with ignorance, but, learn from that ignorance. There's another thing when you are the victim and then you go victimizing someone else with the same thing that you thought, hey, I didn't like it when someone else did this to me, but I'm gonna do it to someone else. Also, another thing is, she was, like, prohibited from seeing this person on, like, weekdays and weekends. Again, she wasn't clearly, quote-unquote, dating them. They were supposed to be friends, right? But she was very upset she wasn't allowed to see this person on weekdays. So she would go and sneak into their house. I'm just saying, predatory behavior. MrTLexify, even if you think it was annoying of him to ask for sex, he asked for sex. The parent legit told you, hey, don't look at my kid on the weekdays, okay? So they can focus on school. And she would go out of her way to sneak into their house. Whenever we're talking about predators, this is actual predatory behavior. She would go in through a window to have sex with this person. MrTLexify, again, he provided her with stuff, right? He tried his best to make a great relationship to work out with her. Even if she was underage, the 3 age gap, he tried his best to have like a real relationship with her. She legit is sneaking in through motherfuckers' windows, alright? This is the person you should be looking out for. Now, in my opinion, it seems like neither one of these are great people, right? MrTLexify dated an underage person. I'm gonna be honest, 3 age gap to me, I don't care. But if we're talking about legally or in some people's eyes, morally, MrTLexify, not a great person because, he was trying to, in a lot of people's eyes, groom her into being his girlfriend. And then she also went to go do the same thing to someone else that she claims is 18-year-old, even though there's text of her saying that the person is 17-year-old. So it seems like the pot is trying to call the kettle black. She can call out MrTLexify all she wants, but she has done the same, if not worse. And that's the drama so far, boys. That's it. Everyone has been kind of memeing on TLexify on Twitter because the text that came out don't make him look bad at all. They just make him look like a simp, all right? Because this woman is totally unhinged in those texts, all right? She is totally unhinged in those Snapchat texts. And instead of him just leaving her, he just allows her to walk all over him, all right? And that's kind of the saddest part about this is MrTLexify was never the dominant person in this relationship. He was always the sub. He was always the person that was like, well, I mean, sure, if you cheated on me, why did you cheat on me? I'm like, do you think we still have a relationship after you cheated on me? And then PureSofty would just tell him to go, end his life. She doesn't like him. She never liked him. All that, even though they were in a relationship, and she was very much willing to take anything he gave her instead of her being like, wow, I don't want it because I don't like you. So very much she was being a fake person to him throughout the whole relationship. He was trying his best to make the relationship work. It didn't work out. Who would have known? Who would have known? Some relationships just don't work out, and now she's a scorned ex. All right, that's literally everything that happened. The whole situation is PureSofty's a scorned ex, and that's it. We can agree to disagree, just like how Moist Critical and Sneeko agreed to disagree in their last debate. Click here to see what happened in that last debate. But other than that, boys, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you all tomorrow.